Hello and welcome to another episode of Laptop Retrospective, and today we've got something a little bit different here. We have a tablet, and this one has been made by Vankyo, and it is their kind of mid-tier 7-inch tablet. They call this one the MatrixPad S7, and what makes this interesting to me is that this is what I would refer to as a budget tablet. I have not purchased a tablet in many, many years. I have in this house two tablets that are used primarily for media consumption, checking emails and that sort of thing. One is the original iPad Air, and then the other is actually a Samsung Galaxy Tab that was bought probably more than 4 years ago. And I remember that both of those tablets were certainly several $100s. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for each, but they were certainly up there in price. And that's what makes this one interesting, because it clocks in at about 110 Canadian dollars. And I was really curious when this company reached out to me to see, well, what does $110 get you in the year 2020 for a tablet? If we think about what we really use tablets for, it's media consumption and games. Can you do all of those things on a tablet that might cost considerably less? And if so, would you want to? So with their cooperation, they did provide this tablet to me for free. I did not purchase this, so just a full disclosure on that. I will be handing this around the household and seeing what kind of feedback we get, whether or not it can go toe-to-toe, or does it leave a few things to be desired. So the first thing that we'll quickly talk about is some of the specifications that make this tablet one that you might be interested in purchasing. It is running Android 9, so it is running essentially the main version of Android that is available. So that does go points in its favor. It is running a 1024 by 600 IPS panel, so we're not talking like Super HD or anything. But at this price point, we need to expect a few compromises. We're running 2 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigs of internal storage, but that can be boosted with a micro SD card up to 128 gigabytes of storage. In terms of the processor inside, I know it's a quad-core 1.3 gigahertz, but at the time of this video being filmed, I'm not entirely sure what brand that processor is. If I find out, I'll leave it in the comments down below. Other specifications is it is running Wi-Fi 802.11a, b, g, n, and ac at 2.5 or 2.4 gigahertz, Bluetooth 4.2, 2900 milliamp battery, 5 megapixel rear, and 2 megapixel front facing. So it has all of the features. They're not top of the line, but let's find out if that really matters. Again, we are dealing with a budget and a price point here, and we'll see exactly what we get with that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and grab our most conveniently placed knife and open up the packaging and see what we get inside. Okay, so inside here we've got a card of things. We'll get rid of that. And of course we have the tablet itself, which is like I said, a 7-incher. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Underneath this tray here, we have another card which just outlines the different buttons and where things are on the tablet, which is, again, pretty straightforward. It's kind of neat because it's all pictogram based, not language. We have a surprisingly thick manual for the use of this tablet, which, you know what, if you're brand new to tablets, that could be a good thing, but it just seems like a very robust thing to include, especially at this price point. It's actually very well printed, and it's in color, and the graphics are very, very clean. So whoever they got to do their printing of their manual did a really good job. We'll put that off to the side. And the last thing we'll pull out is the charging cable, and this is micro USB, so no USB Type-C. So we'll put that off to the side, and I think that's everything in there. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And it says, please remove before use. Remove protective film from tablet, press and hold power button. If the tablet cannot be powered, gotta charge it. Select language. Gestures for this tablet, tap to select and launch, tap and hold, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, nothing of particularly interesting note. Although, one thing I'm getting the strong impression of is that this would be a pretty decent tablet to give to someone that knows nothing about tablets, because there's a lot of documentation in here on how to use this. Maybe even too much, but at any rate, let's go ahead and peel that off and put it off to the side. We have one tablet that is booting up. So immediately, one thing I notice is that the screen is not like incredibly bright. It is certainly subdued. We'll see if once it starts up, if that gets better or worse. But it is something that you do note almost immediately. Pretty quick boot time though. That's not too bad. And of course it's going to want to connect to Wi-Fi. As I suspected, it's only rocking that 2.4 gigahertz band, not the 5 gigahertz band. So just keep that in mind, that if you're purchasing this tablet, you want to take advantage of a 5 gigahertz network. Not going to happen. At this price point, that would be pretty exceptional, I think. Again, you always need to think about, well, what am I getting? What am I paying for? All that good stuff. In terms of build quality, it feels pretty much plastic all the way around, which, again, at the price point, not terrible. The tablet does feel top heavy. I suspect that's probably where the battery is hanging out. In terms of the case and the texture, it seems all right. I don't think the camera has a flash, so you'll want to keep that in mind. At the top, we have all our I/O. So we've got a set of headphones that we can plug in here. We've got our charging port up at the top. And right here, I believe, is where our micro SD would go. And we can just peel that open here. So the micro SD card would go in that left-hand side. Like many touch screens, this one is certainly going to be a fingerprint magnet. And it would appear, if I'm looking at the bezel around the camera here, that this has actually been factory installed with a screen protector. In fact, that looks to be the case, which is a nice touch. Again, that's not something that has to be done. Overall, I think that this tablet would be pretty durable. We will find out over the next few days. There is some flex to it, but again, that flex might not be a bad thing. Might stop it from cracking or being destroyed. And what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to set this tablet up and get some real use cases and give you more information to report back on. So at this point, I am going to stop the video for now. I will give you an update after I've used the tablet for a few weeks and give you my impressions on it. If you have any questions about the tablet that you would like to see featured in the next update, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. And as always, I'll leave the big 4 here. Please like the video, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you will be updated in the next video on this budget tablet series. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.